I think we can officially call this a Football Friday since we got a lot of football to talk about here on Birds 365. Johnny Mack and Jody Mack can hang with you for the next 2 hours. Two major things that we have to cover over the course of today's show. We got two good guests to help us over the next 2 hours. Are the Eagles' schedule and the first chance to sit down and meet and hear from and judge the Eagles' two new coordinators on both offense and defense. John McMullen, I let you choose. Which would you prefer to talk about first? Meet the coordinators or meet the 2023 Bird schedule?
Yeah, that's a tough one, Jody. For me, it would be the coordinators, but I'm going to go schedule because I think people are obsessed with the schedule. And it's schedule day. Happy Logistics Day. I hope everybody had a happy Logistics Day, even though the Sixers tried to ruin it for you. But
didn't
we're locked in.
Didn't go as well at night as it did during the day. And I guess even the day depends on your optimism or pessimism with the Birds. The games started leaking out yesterday, or even the day before. And now we've got the full 17-game slate. Do you want to do it right off the bat? Go win-loss, win-loss? Right down the list. I'm going to fire it at you. Are you ready, Johnny Mack?
Sure. Let's do it.
Let me get out a pen to write down.
Homage to Mike Francesa. Can I go? That's a win.
You can do it any way you please. And some interesting quirks to the schedule that we'll also talk about. But first, we just got to go through it. W's and L's. Week 1 at New England, which was so disrespectful by the NFL to give.
Yeah, there was somebody. I was waiting for the first disrespectful tweet.
That was you texted me ESP's tweet. Elliot Shore Park.
I was waiting for the first one, and
they were disrespected by having to open up on the road against New England.
It always makes me happy. The first disrespectful one.
Well, is it disrespect? We don't care whether it's disrespectful or not.
Come on.
Is it a win or a loss?
It's a win.
It is a win. Vikings week 2 Thursday night. Quick turnaround, Johnny Mack. That may be tough.
I know, easy win. In fact, if I'm Minnesota, I am pissed off because they got to open up and fill the Philadelphia home opener 2 years in a row, and they did not handle that well last year. They're not going to handle it well this year.
Add that to the fact that Kirk Cousins doesn't usually play well when the sun is down. So what do? They give him a Thursday night against the Eagles. Yeah, I can see why the Vikings might be a little perturbed about that schedule. That's disrespect right there. Week number 3 at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On the road, Johnny Mack.
Easy win. That might be the worst team on the schedule for the Eagles. Probably Arizona later, but they're in the conversation.
I would take Jonathan Gannon's Cardinals as worse than the Bucs, but I am with you on a win. Week 4 at home to the Commanders, where they lost one of their 3 games, regular season games last year, was at home against Washington. His revenge ad.
Yeah, well, you try to pound me on Brock Purdy. Our buddy Ed Kratz tries to do it with Sam Howell. I'm not buying it. Washington's going to be a bad football team. Last place, NFC East. Make it 4-0.
I would agree across the board. All right, week 5, you got to go cross country out to the Rams in L.A. Only 2 years removed from Super Bowl championship.
Yeah, at this point, I start looking for logical losses, scheduled losses, whatever you want to call them. And normally, this would be a scheduled loss, but the Rams are so bad. They tore it all down. They're paying for going all in to get their Super Bowl title. It's a tough trip, as you mentioned, but they're gonna out talent the Rams. So keep it going.
I would agree with that one. All right, week 6, I will be at this game. A 4:25. Oh, by the way, very few 1 o'clock games for you, Johnny Mack. 4:25 at the Jets. Is this the first loss of the season?
Yes, it is. There it is. The Eagles have never lost to Jody McDonald's Jets in the regular season. This is it. I'm convinced that the Jets don't get it done here, they will never beat the Eagles. It is a for Jody knows, but for people that don't know, part of it's Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers is the last piece, obviously. But they got a lot of talent, and they're very similar to Detroit in the fact that I talk about Detroit a lot. They've been bad for so long. They've been drafting at the top of the draft for so long. All of a sudden, you wake up and you look and you say, wow, there's Garrett Wilson. Wow, there's Sauce Gardner. Wow, there's Quentin Williams. They got some good players, and now they got a quarterback. Yeah, logical loss. They're not going to go 17-0. Sorry, people. First L, Sunday, October 15th versus Jody McDonald's New York Jets.
Yeah, I still have the Eagles undefeated. I do not think they will lose to the Jets. Next week at home against the Dolphins.
Back on the winning track, the Dolphins, talented team, but they have some issues. I'm not in love with the head coach. We know Tua's concussion issues. They might have some hiccups. Tyreek Hill will probably beat them deep. But I think the Eagles have too much for the Dolphins.
Yeah, this is where I have the Eagles losing their first game of the season. I think the Dolphins come in here and get them in week number 7. So I got them 6-0 before they lose, but losing week 7. At the Commanders, week 8.
Yeah, we talked about
Washington.
Yeah, they're sweeping the Commanders. Maybe if Taylor Heineke was there plucking them to a win. I'm not buying Sam Howell. Who knows? By that point, it might be Jacoby Brissett. I'm just not in love with Washington, what they're doing. Ultimately, it'll be a positive step this season for the Commanders if they get it away from Daniel Snyder. But in the short term, they're going to have some issues. They sweep the Commanders this year.
Did not sweep the Commanders last year. They will sweep the Commanders this year. Week 9 is at home against the Dallas Cowboys. First Dallas matchup. Eagles a winner or a loser?
I got a home and home split, so they're going to win at home. Cowboys are a very good team. We talked to John Machota yesterday. Talent all over the place. They're in the conversation. I think the 3 clear best teams in the NFC are the Eagles, the Cowboys, the 49ers. I don't think they're going to sweep the Cowboys, but I got them winning home and home split.
All right, so that'll give us an answer on one coming up in just a couple. I think they'll win the home game against the Cowboys as well. Bye in week 10. Week 11 is the game that, come on, Mrs. Kelsey, you got to upgrade your sources. John,
yeah, I told you, be careful with that Donna Kelsey one. You wanted to confirm that. I tried to pay you.
No, that would be week 11 at the Chiefs on a Monday night. Did the Eagles abstract their Super Bowl revenge?
No. Coming off the bye, which is by the way, nice place for the bye this year. It was a little bit too early last season, although it worked out well for the Eagles. Essentially splitting the season. Boy, it's a murderer's row after the bye, and it starts in Kansas City, and just a tough matchup. Best quarterback coach combination of the generation. There's going to be some losses on the schedule. It's not going to be all peaches and cream.
I think this will be the first game all year that the Eagles are not favored. You realize they were favored in every game last year except at the Cowboys with Gardner Minshew at the helm. So Jalen Hurts was a favorite in every game that he started last year, and he will not be a favorite in this one. And I'm taking the Chiefs in the Week 11 rematch as well. Bills come to the link in week number 13. Eagles will be favored. Will they be a winner?
Yeah, I got them winning that game. That's obviously going to be a tough game. But I saw enough of Josh Allen last year to know he's going to make a bunch of big plays, but he's probably going to make a big mistake in the fourth quarter. And I think that's going to cost Buffalo in a tough environment. So I got the Eagles back on the winning track and winning that football game.
All right. The week after is week 13 at home against the 49ers, another rematch. They beat the 49ers badly here last year in the championship game. It's here again. That's a major plus. Eagles win or lose against the 49ers.
Yeah, I'm probably paying too much deference to Lincoln Financial Field, but I think they're going to win. They're going to beat the 49ers again. I don't know who's going to be playing quarterback at that standpoint. It's kind of tough to project. I know everyone, hey, let's get it in there with Brock Purdy. I think they win with Brock Purdy. I think they win with Trey Lance. I think they win with Sam Darnold. And I think home field's a big part of that.
So you've got the Eagles winning against the 49ers. I think the 49ers have struck revenge for last year's championship loss. Next weekend at the Cowboys, you already said split, win 1-1, win at home, lose on the road. So you're going a loss there, as am I, which means they will have lost 2 games in a row, back-to-back games against the 49ers and the Cowboys. The next week at Seattle, who I believe both you and I think are going to be one of the better teams, not the best, but one of the better teams in the NFC this year. Road game at the end of a very tough streak of games. What did the Eagles bring to Seattle?
Loss. This is, last year I mentioned the toughest matchup was Christmas Eve in Dallas. It was the third of 3 road games. And obviously, it turned out that way. But, Jalen Hurts wasn't there. On paper, this to me is the toughest matchup, just from a standpoint of, you mentioned it's the final game of sort of a murderer's row of 5 games against really good teams. You're on the road for the second consecutive week, going completely across the country. And oh, by the way, it's after a road game against your biggest rival. So I think there's the natural letdown after the Cowboys week. Yeah, this is the worst spot on the Eagles schedule, in my opinion. Sunday, right. December 17th, loss at Seattle. And oh, by the way, that is one of the most difficult places to play when the Seattle's
has been over the years. Yeah. I'm with you. The Seahawks scared the snot out of me, but I think this is where a championship team pulls its mettle together, having lost 2 games in a row. I do not believe it will be 3. I think they'll find a way to go in and win in Seattle. And in the final 3, the Giants, Jonathan Gannon, and the Giants. You got GGG to finish out the season. First at home with the Giants on a Monday night in Week 16. Giants going to put up any kind of a fight against the Eagles?
No, not on Christmas. I mean, they never win here. I don't know how, but Boston Scott's going to score a touchdown. It's the early Christmas gift. It's on the NFL schedule. I mean, they dominate the Giants. I see no reason that doesn't continue. They're certainly going to wax Arizona, maybe the least talented team in the NFL, so everyone can get their pound of flesh from JG. And then Week 18, I got that as a loss, Jody. Not because really? I think the Giants are good, but I think it's going to be one of those situations. They're probably locked in. Whether it's number 1 seed.
They're not going to be locked in as the number 1 seed.
And probably not, because I got them at 12 wins, but they're going to be probably locked in the playoff positioning. And I don't think they're going to play anybody. So I'm giving that one to the Giants.
All right. So you've got them at 12-5?
12-5.
Yeah, I'm going to win in that last game because I don't think they're going to be locked in. I think they might not get it, even if they win Week 18. Whoever they're in the running with, San Francisco, possibly Dallas, can also win in that week, and the Eagles could lose out on a tiebreaker. I do not believe, and this is pure speculation, neither one of us know.
Yeah, I know. It's just
we're 17 weeks down the road predicting not only where the Eagles are at, but all the other teams in the NFC as well.
You know what? It's happened so much over the past few years that one of the teams, and sometimes like last year, the Eagles had to play to get the number 1 seed. Exactly. But the Giants didn't have to play. It happened so much. I'm just playing the odds. And somebody might be the Giants. They might be a playoff team. But I think somebody's not going to play. I'm going to guess it's the Eagles. So I'm going to give the win to the Giants. What
Yeah,
the hell?
I'm gonna say the Eagles have something to win on the final game of the season, whatever that may be. We're pure speculation as to what it may be, but I'll say they do have something to play for. So if that's the case, I don't see the Eagles beating the Giants. So I've got them at 14-3. You've got them at 12-5. We agreed on most of the games. You got them losing to the Jets. I got them losing to the Dolphins, and vice versa. I got them losing San Francisco. You have them winning. You have them losing to Seattle. I have them winning that game because I think they're going to be on a little losing streak, and they're going to have to rise to the occasion to stop it. And then the last game of the season, you think that it'll be a JV game for the Eagles. I think they're going to need it. 13-4 and 12-5 are our two numbers. We will get another set of numbers. We won't make them go game by game like John and I just did, but we'll ask them for an overall input as to what the Eagles are going to look like at the end of the 2023 season. And before they ever get started, yesterday we got a chance to get a first feel on the two guys who will be calling the plays for the Philadelphia Eagles this year on both offense and defense. There are two new coordinators. Sat down with the media yesterday. Sitting down with us next is Andrew DeChico from InsideTheBirds.com. Does a great job for them. Has done a great job when he's hopped on with us, and he'll do so again next here on Birds 365.